everyone, Sam here from Mind Body Medical. So last week I did a video about the health benefits of hawthorn flowers, particularly at this time of where we are with COVID and the therapeutic properties of hawthorn flowers on stress and mental health and emotional health. And when subsequent to releasing that video, we've been bombarded with messages about how do we use this, how do we make use of hawthorn berries, and hawthorn flowers, and because the hawthorn flowers are perfect now, they're absolutely in season, they're everywhere in the hedgerows around us. What I want to do is show you guys how to make a really quick and easy medicated hawthorn flower infused herbal honey. Okay, it's probably one of the most effective ways of consuming the health properties of hawthorn flowers. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about an amazing free week, an online course we're running on medicinal herbal foraging. Okay, so it starts on May the 4th. It's a week-long online course delivered exclusively via Facebook, where we're going to be looking at 4 primary medicinal herbs that are growing abundantly right now in the UK and mainland Europe, that we can forage for every day. We're going to pick a herb, we're going to go through it in detail, talk about it in detail, talk about the therapeutic indications, how to use it, what it can be used for, the health benefits. And then we're going to give practical video tutorials on how to make tinctures out of them, how to make massage oils, how to make teas, how to make herbal honeys, a whole load of recipes. You get recipe cards, tonics, and it all kicks off on May the 4th. To take part, it's going to be a private Facebook group, so you have to register. So go onto the website, on the homepage, you'll see the banner at the top. Register on there, join the group. And then we'll be sending you resources as we progress through, and then we'll kick off live on May the 4th. But now I want to talk about hawthorn flower infused honey. Okay, so it's super easy to make. All you need is a jar of raw honey. Okay, you don't want processed honey, you don't want heat treated honey, you don't want mass produced honey that you buy in the supermarket. Because it hasn't got any of the immuno benefits, it hasn't got any of the anti-inflammatory benefits. It's a heavily processed form of honey. Okay, so you want raw honey. That's the first thing you need. Then you need a jar full of freshly picked hawthorn flowers. Okay, they're everywhere at the moment. So I've just gone out and picked a load. They're unmissable at this time of the year. They're everywhere. So go out and collect a load of hawthorn flowers. And then you need to pick off the actual flowers from the stems. Okay, you can have the small stems attached. We don't want any big leaves or anything like that attached. Okay, once you've got those, you need a perfectly dry, sterilized jar. Okay, and all you need to do is fill up the jar about half full with your hawthorn flowers. Okay, about half. Like that. Okay, half full. And then once you've done that, you get your raw honey and you literally just pour the honey all the way over the flowers, all the way to the top of the jar. Okay, and what you do need to do is you need to give it a really good stir. You don't want any air pockets, okay? You don't want any air pockets forming in the jar. You want to make sure all of the flowers are perfectly coated in the honey. Okay, so honey acts as a preservative. It preserves the flowers, but honey is also hygroscopic, which means it's able to extract the medicinal properties from the flowers into the honey itself. So it sucks the water-soluble components, the medicinal properties of the flowers, are sucked out of the flowers into the honey. Okay, so you want to give it a really good stir. Make sure all of the flowers, particularly at the bottom, there's always a few dry flowers left, and you want to give those a really good stir. Make sure all of the flowers are absolutely coated in the raw honey. Okay, and when you do that, you'll see the level of the honey drops quite significantly as the flowers begin to absorb it. So you just need to top it up with more honey all the way to the top of the jar. Okay, so you fill your jar up with your honey, give it another stir, like so. It's really important that all of the herbs, all of the flowers are covered in honey because it stops them going off, it stops them putrefying. Okay, so give it a really good stir, and then once you've done that, just seal it with your lid like that, and then you want to leave that in a dark cupboard. Okay, and once a day for the first week you want to invert it just for a couple of minutes, just to make sure that there's no flowers that aren't covered and consumed by the honey. So I invert it like that, give it a bit of a shake, and then invert it back again. Okay, or you can take the lid off and give it a really good stir once a day for a week, and then leave it completely undisturbed, untouched for another 3 weeks on average in the dark cupboard. Don't touch it. Okay, so that's 4 weeks in total, a week of stirring and then 3 weeks of leaving. You can reduce that down to a week of stirring and 2 weeks of infusing if you need. Okay, so looking at a 3 to 4 week program. Once you've done that and the 3 or 4 weeks have passed, you've then got a couple of options. You can either strain out the flowers, okay, so you've just got the medicated honey, or you can leave the flowers in. So if you're using things like berries and bark, you always want to strain those out because they're chewy. But flowers like that, they macerate in the honey. They become really soft, really flavoursome, really tender. You can spread it on toast, you can put it into teas, you can put it into smoothies. So we typically leave the flowers in, we don't strain it out. But if you do want to strain it out, just leave it somewhere warm so it thins, so it becomes really thin, and then just strain it through a sieve into another jar. Okay, and then you've got your medicated hawthorn flower infused honey. So what do we use that for? So hawthorn flower is a potent herbal medicine. It's fantastic for heart health, and particularly preventatively. You know, heart disease kills more people than any other condition on the planet. For every 1 person that dies of cancer, 3 will die of heart disease. And if we're looking for a long, healthy, vital life, we really need to do things that proactively protect our heart and protect our vascular system. And hawthorn flowers and hawthorn berries have been used in that capacity, you know, for thousands of years. And it's clinically proven. It lowers blood pressure, it reduces bad cholesterol, it strengthens the heart as a muscle, it reduces inflammation in the arteries, it strengthens the vascular system. It's an all-consuming health panacea for the cardiovascular system. It's also great for mental health. It lowers anxiety, it buffers against stress, it reduces tension, it increases feel-good hormones. It's a mood-elevating anti-anxiety herb. And it's also great for inflammation. If you've got things like arthritis, connective tissue disorders, joint disorders, wherever there's pain or inflammation, hawthorn flowers help to dial that down. Okay, so at home, we always have, you know, dozens of these jars made up. We're usually bigger jars, so it's a little bit more efficient to make and quicker to make. And just have one to 2 teaspoons a day. You can take it out and put it straight into a cup and pour over boiling water. Makes an amazing, you know, herbal honey infused tea. You can put it into smoothies, you can put it onto toast. There's so many ways of using this, but the key thing is the honey, because the honey acts as the extractor. It's the hygroscopic properties of the honey extract out the medicinal properties. Okay, so go out. We've probably got another week or so of hawthorn flowers being in season before they dry up, they fall off and turn into the early berry. So go out, collect a load of the flowers, and make up, you know, as many jars of this as you can, so that in 3 or 4 weeks it's ready to go. And as a heart protecting, mood elevating tonic herb, having a teaspoon of that or 2 teaspoons every day is just an absolute powerhouse. So we hope you found that helpful. Any questions about how to do that, let us know. And like I say, if you want to learn more about how to forage herbal medicines and how to turn those herbs into tinctures and ointments and a whole load of different herbal remedies, then make sure you join us on May the 4th for our free week-long medicinal herbal foraging course. You have to register on the Facebook page, which you can get on the homepage of the website. So we look forward to seeing you there.